Retro Block Party, begin.
All right, my man. It looks like you were live.
All right, excellent. Hello, everyone. My name is BreegullBird, and we are doing Resident Evil 4. And this is going to be a completely fresh game, with no items from New Game Plus. No other extra things. Just starting out a professional game from scratch.
1998. I'll never forget it.
The real question is, since we're speedrunning this, should I actually skip cutscenes or not?
Soon after, the news was out to the whole world, revealing that it was the fault of a secret viral experiment conducted by the international pharmaceutical enterprise, Umbrella. The virus broke out in a nearby mountain community, Raccoon City, and hit the peaceful little town with a devastating blow crippling its very foundation. Not taking any chances, the President of the United States ordered a contingency plan to sterilize Raccoon City. With the whole affair gone public, the United States government issued an indefinite suspension of business decree to Umbrella. Soon its stock prices crashed, and for all intents and purposes, Umbrella was finished. Six years have passed since that horrendous incident.
For the most part, I think I'm actually going to be skipping most non-important cutscenes, like this whole intro sequence. We're here to rescue the president's daughter, and we're on a mission. So much so that we're probably going to be ignoring a lot of, Hey, Rich! Oh gosh, I completely forgot to send you the link. For right now, we only have the knife and the pistol. Very reminiscent of my challenge runs that I used to do. But we're going to be ignoring a ton of enemies. Baiting them into trying to swing at us and then running by when they have already swung. For the most part, we can actually outrun them. Hey, Sky Pilgrim! And since we're not a monster, we are going to actually help out the dog. He doesn't actually serve a purpose in the run because the boss I actually just kind of skip, for the most part. If we ever need to go past any villagers that might give us trouble, simply shooting them and stunning them is for the best. Alright, so there is going to be a bit of an information dump here. Alright, so normally there should be a bit ginormous onslaught of villagers in this section here. And I figured out a good way on how to skip most of it. First off, this is strangely important. You need to stand by these logs, kill that one villager. Seems innocuous. But then we run into this house. Throw a very precise grenade through this window. Not unless we get of a certain weapon. Oh no. We do have the shotgun now. And I'm gonna need this a lot. And killing that many villagers with grenades automatically ends the onslaught. They hear the bell and decide it's church time. Let's leave. With that, we're already done with this segment. Since we're also going to be deleting a lot of weapons, more than likely, I am going to be picking up a lot of safety money. A lot of easy-to-get jewels that are on the way, or treasures and whatnot. Thank you, Sky Pilgrim. Thank you, Rich. Beerstein. Here we're gonna have one of our first of many boulders. Chris Redfield be damned. They just decide, let's just shove this down at him and have it roll in his way. Grabbing these spinel since they are in the path. Oops. I actually completely forgot to do something. That is actually my bad. Hush, Discord. I apologize. Here there's a ton of these dynamite villagers just kind of going crazy and throwing it at me. Fortunately, they're not very large. Their dynamite isn't that very strong and doesn't really often hit us. More often than not, we're actually going to shoot it because doing so is actually really easy. Did you just kill those birds? They had what I needed. It's for the greater good. We gotta save the president's daughter and stop a giant parasitical
Feeble humans.
group.
Now.
Here we first see the merchant, but we're not actually going to be talking to him just yet. We're actually going to be going past him for the most part. Unless he has something that we really need, we're not really going to go out of our way to talk to him. You never really liked this section? Well, you're in luck because this place actually goes by really fast. Thankfully, a lot of them get caught up on actually trying to go through the building, and we can just walk past most of them and up this cliffside. They're also very, very volatile with these dynamite, by the way. They tend to hit themselves more often than not. You see what I mean by them blowing themselves up? Alright. There's also not much of wharf in that previous area. The only thing that we really want is the rifle ammo for later, because we're gonna need that pretty extensively in the castle. Is Leon Kennedy the coolest guy from 2007? Has it really been all the way back from 2007? Goodness. Alright, we're running low on meds, so let's do some big fishing. Just grab the flash grenade and a bunch of fish from down here. Leon Kennedy is such a tryhard for it's actually endearing. Ow. He's honestly such a tryhard that he actually becomes cool in that respect. He's over the top, yeah. Just to entertain himself. Alright, so here the puzzle is very simple. You just push up and then to the left, and the door opens. Cutscene, we meet Mendez, and just kinda let him be on our way. Because apparently we have a parasite in us now. And here, I think, we get the best item, the egg. I didn't get to mention this earlier, but Dr. Salvador really isn't all that threatening. He one-hits you, yes, but you can just generally forget about him. He's never usually needed to progress, needed to be killed, I should say. And he doesn't follow us. So in this area, he's just completely dealt with. He's just gone. All hail the egg. Alright, we have a full heal. The yellow herbs increase our max HP, but for the most part, we aren't actually going to need that. Okay, so down here, we have a nice, big, juicy bit of treasure. 2 spinels and 1 elegant headdress. And another thing that we actually have down here is our first merchant that we actually visit, because we're actually forced to.
What are you buying?
We will actually go and buy the larger attaché case.
Thank you.
And that's the only thing that we're really gonna need. Here we collect another grenade and generally skip on any birds, pendants that we can shoot, as they mostly just slow us down. You get a free gun if you get all the pendants, but it's not really worth it when we can just buy it ourselves in a much faster fashion. We have another codec call, but it's entirely unimportant. Alright. Thankfully, a lot of the villagers just seem to have a very dumbfounded expression when we went up and see them. They just kind of like pointed us and let us pass. Out of the murder of crows here, the only one we need is that one because specifically he has a flash grenade. Look to the pouch to man the pouch to man ratio on this guy. Yeah, dude, he's carrying a whole attaché case in void space. Cartoon logic is what Leon does best. That and running from boulders, as you can tell. Here we pick up another hand grenade. And trying our best to avoid TNT. Leon is just edgy Bugs Bunny. Here we go and grab some more eggs. We actually got really good RNG for getting these snakes. They normally are very, very varied in where they're placed. But hey, that means we actually got a gold egg. All right, so first we have our first boss here, which is Delagos, meaning of the lake. And we're going to be doing it from this very small boat. Delagos is very big, and he really likes to hang around these logs, and we don't like to bump into that at all. It's very slow. The important thing to know is that when you actually pull out a harpoon, you can actually turn the boat. That was close. In terms of speed, Delagos is very, very volatile. He can just decide to not want to be hit. Oh, Jesus. Every time you're knocked out of the boat, you have to actually swim back to the boat before Delagos actually tries and eats you. Thankfully, we gathered many fish, so... That was just practice for the big fish. Press X to swim. It takes a good, I want to say about 12-ish harpoons to take out Delagos. Ah, this is what I mean by him just wanting to not be hit. He just submerges for no reason. But, unfortunately for Leon, he'll never be able to prove that he bagged the biggest fish, as this is the one that got away. It sunk to the bottom of the lake. My proof? No! Alright, so we head inside a cabin, decide to nap. Have a nightmare about, things in our head. And here we see our very first Plagas head. These guys are very annoying, but they're at least very manipulable. Flash grenades instantly kill them, and generally if you try to use bullets on them, they tend to be more of a nuisance than anything. Don't forget the Jill sandwich. That is very important. That's what any operative needs to have on the field. As just a reminder, you can spend just $10 to have me stop and kill everything around me. here I'm gonna be trying to do some long-range shooting. These boxes, and this little bit of treasure here that I'm having trouble shooting. Leon naturally has some shake to his aim, and it's hard for me to account for that, because the laser gets pretty hard to see. Alright, so down here... we skip the cutscene, and this is actually very important because this villager then just walks by us. For the most part. Some of them actually do wake up early. And we just run past them. But I think it's time we eat another fish. Leon does move faster when he's actually at full health and carrying specific items. He actually runs fastest when he has a grenade, and I honestly keep forgetting to do that, but it's whatever. Alright, so taking this boat back actually leads us back to a merchant that we didn't actually bother to visit. But we're going to be making a very big purchase here.
Gotta select. What are you buying? What are you selling?
I just need to sell all this extra treasure.
What are you buying?
And finagle my inventory. Now is your chance. Alright, so we have our very first rocket launcher. Although, we won't be having this for very long. Because we have our next boss. Which, unfortunately, the dog won't be helping us because we just immediately blow up El Gigante. Almost comically. Alright. So now that we have the insignia, we can actually open up the church. And we're going to be doing just that. Here, these dogs are kind of annoying, but we mostly just have to do some expert weaving to not get hit. You cannot pet the dogs in Resident Evil 4. Unfortunately, no. Alright, so... surprisingly, we get our first puzzle in pretty late. And it's just a matter of turning the insignia so that it's matching the one on the side. So turn this one 3 times, turn the red one twice, and turn the blue one once. And then there you go. Combine all and open sesame. El Gigante is what happens when you only eat the good vegetables. Kale, buddy. That's the superfood. Alright, so here we have Ashley, and she's annoying. Let's just say that. We meet Salazar, but we are just immediately leaving.
Leon, shoot those barrels on that wagon.
Most of the villagers here just kind of stand around and get run over by that runaway cart. It could happen to you folks. A runaway explosive cart, That's how my grandpa went out. Alright, so, now that we have Ashley, we can actually go through a door that we never actually managed to go through, but we actually have to make our way there first. Unfortunately, Ashley can also be a little bit slow sometimes, and you have to wait for her to catch up before you go through the door. Alright, so here, we're just gonna be, again, avoiding all the enemies. If any enemies come in our path, we just kind of knock them out of the way. Like this guy. Come on, Ashley. Stop getting afraid. I said, stop getting afraid. This is actually unfortunate. Wait, Ashley, what are you doing? Why are you climbing out there? Grandpa was weak. He could not stand up to the flaming cart. As you can see, Ashley can be a bit annoying to deal with when it comes to trying to get past enemies, because sometimes when she's crowded by them, she'll just kind of crouch down in fear and then not move until you deal with the problem. It really becomes a big problem in one specific room in the castle.
I opened it, Leon.
Welcome.
Alright, so here we have the merchant again. We're just going to,
What are you buying?
I guess, tune up. Nah, actually, I don't think we're going to be buying anything.
Come back anytime.
Here we have an onslaught that we can't actually skip this one. Flaming cart for mayor. Alright, we here have an onslaught of very low poly villagers.
Hate to say it, but we're sandwiched, all right.
I love this cutscene just because of the low poly villagers. They're so apparent. And we're actually going to be getting help from Lewis, a friend of ours.
Use this.
And for the most part, we're actually going to make Lewis do most of the work. For the most part, we're just going to be dealing with a lot of villagers through kicks, because then we're invincible.
Leon, are you okay? Leon, are you okay?
This is where my stockpile of healing items goes into big effect,
Leon, are you okay?
because this actually gets very dangerous. Mainly because of the Plagas heads. Did you send those invitations? I told you no more than 50 people. I tried. I said, don't come. That's what I said on the invitation.
Use this.
Alright. Take two. If Chris were the protagonist of the game, he would just throw Ashley like a football back to the USA. I honestly would not doubt that. That dude is friggin' ripped. The great thing about the shotgun is that you can just constantly throw enemies back. Oh, $20? Bye-bye, handgun. Okay, you got it. I'm also gonna be throwing away the pistol ammo. Terrible shame, but you can still make do. Oh, thanks, Lewis, for giving me handgun ammo. I truly need that now. Someone scrap the shotgun. Oh, no, please. Oh, wait, that's right. I can't do that. I actually have to do this now. After rescuing Lewis, Chris would punch Mendez and win right then and there. That works.
Leon, are you okay? Leon, are you okay?
Boy, these guys are really liking throwing things. Okay, I think it's time we use one of these. Because Duke Nukem's would work well in Resident Evil.
Leon, upstairs.
Gosh dang it! I will be implementing a free live system with weapons. They're still thrown away, but
Welcome.
the good thing about this is that we're right next to the merchant,
What are you
and
buying?
we can buy something different. I'm gonna buy this. We're going off meta with this.
Come back any time.
We're gonna follow in Lewis's footsteps. Duke would work well in Resident Evil. He's very reference heavy, so I'm not sure on how that would actually work in the end. Okay, I think it's good time as any to use this. I guess the main strategy to do here for this cabin section is to try and round up as many people as you can to get rid of in one grenade.
Leon, are you okay?
Ooh, I think this is actually a good time as any as well. Yeah, Duke is also only incentivized by babes, and that just doesn't work.
I owe you one, Leon.
If I remember correctly, the amount of villagers is dependent on the difficulty, and for professional difficulty, it should be something akin to 45-ish villagers that you have to take out before they start leaving. How to handle this?
Leon, upstairs.
Going upstairs is kind of a trap. Yes, they will come in from ladders, but generally they will also be coming in from the stairwell as well. And it's not really that safe.
Use this.
These guys really love throwing block sets at me. He would try to date Ada. Isn't that what Leon does anyways? And there we have it. The cabin section. Messily, though. Alright, do I actually have the money? I barely do.
What are you buying?
This is entirely
Come back
unimportant. The life of the house party. Ooh, actually, I need to go back. I completely forgot something. Back at the house, we actually do need to go back upstairs and grab a few items. Because, we are actually going to need 2 incendiary grenades for Chief Mendez. I will do it the slow way, though, just to show off how busted he is. Leon is one of those cool guys at a party that thinks the hokey pokey is a modern dance.
Follow me.
I mean, you do the hokey pokey and then you turn yourself around, and that's what it's all about. Where's Ashley? Alright. El Gigante number 2, and it is dangerously close to Ashley. There we go. It's not necessary to kill this guy. You can actually just kind of ignore him, but I like doing it just so I can loot this area in relative safety. Did that actually give me the second incendiary grenade as well? Okay. I honestly think Leon would be the kind of person that goes to a party and just kind of, like, goes to not necessarily be at the party, but there, quote-unquote. Like, he's away from everybody. Kind of brooding or something. Alright, so here we are going to be doing a little bit of sniping. By that, I mean I'm actually going to have to lean into my screen for this. There's gonna be a bunch of people coming from the opposing gondolas, and each one is probably gonna be throwing a grenade, not a grenade, but a hatchet at us. This is so weird doing this with the Red 9. Leon's aim is much less steady. Is Ashley fist pumping at your murders? Yes. She does that whenever you get a good shot and actually kill an opponent, or shoot a projectile out of the air. She does that as well. Very odd of her. Okay, so down here, we didn't see it earlier because I had walked past it, but we are going to need Chief Mendez's eye to actually get out of the village, and we're going to get that the hard way. And by that, I mean we're going to cheese him. He does not like the terrain around him, and he easily gets stuck on a lot of things. So Mendez, he starts out with this kind of spooky, quick time event.
Hasta luego.
And he turns into this, like, centipede monster. So, I'm gonna show you two ways of doing it. The easiest way is to just use, fire grenades on him. Two are just enough to get rid of the first phase, and then in the second phase, you can cheese him by going to this pillar, shoving your face in it, and then he just doesn't know what to do. He's very confused by our tactics, and for that, he perishes. Sometimes he can free himself from this little confusion and attempt to hit us, and if he does, he actually one-shots us. He is not to be trifled with when he actually does get free. That's one way. I want to show you the other way, but it is so much more slower. So, restarting from a checkpoint takes us back to before we killed him. Red 9, you're doing fine. Alright, so, here we are at Mendez again. Same thing. Avoid him. We're gonna bring him all the way over here in this little corner here. And as we can see, he has to go all the way around. But if we stand in just the right position, he gets very confused and tries to walk through a solid object. But we can shoot him. And he is entirely defenseless here. We can just shoot him at our leisure until he is dead. But that is incredibly slow, and the grenade method is much more tolerable. Oops. I actually have another grenade, so I can actually do this the other fast method as well. Oh, dear lord, I missed. This is actually kind of bad. Alright. Fortunately, though, if it's ever too tough, we have our old friend, Pillar, to support us. Come on. Come on down. Sometimes he just doesn't like to play nice. And he likes to... Wait, where is he? And he doesn't like to actually follow the pillar method. Okay. Yeah, Mendez, you're not doing that to me. He is gonna do that, though. Can you run the whole game with just the knife? You certainly cannot. There's actually some things you need to use the pistol for, such as shooting down Salazar. You cannot get to him without having a ranged weapon of some kind. You need to shoot various things that you cannot actually reach. But you can go through a big majority of the game with just the pistol. I actually have done that before. Wait, what? Mendez is just full of surprises today. You just don't shoot a guy in the dick, Butters. Please don't. Okay, so that's Chief Mendez. His arena is also filled with a ton of goodies, but we're only gonna grab the ones up here. Alright, and now we do the gross thing of grabbing his eyeball.
Are you okay, Leon?
Alright, so now we just make the long trek back to the door that we actually needed the eyeball for in the first place. There's actually no enemies along the way here in anyways, so it's kind of a safe passage. Even on the gondola ride, they just kind of skip the path back. Eggs only run, let's go. Someday, Gino, I might just do that. You've actually inspired me. I'd have to actually do like a fucking 20 New Game Plus that just has my inventory filled with eggs. Alright, So, we're off to the castle. But not before we say goodbye to Truck-kun. Truck-kun, I like to call it that just because it's a very recurring character. It just randomly keeps showing up in our adventure, trying to run us over. And with that, we're just gonna be running away to the castle. The villagers run us out, and we have no choice but to go inside this spooky castle.
Welcome.
Thankfully, our old pal Merchant is here,
Got some red. What are you
and we're
selling?
actually going to be
Is that
selling off
is-
our Red 9
is
and
that-
shotgun,
Thank you. What are you buying?
and we're going to be picking up a TMP and a rifle. And while I'm at it, I may as well merge my inventory.
Thank you. Come back anytime.
The TMP is pretty much like the pistol. It's slightly weaker, but the important thing is that it still staggers enemies with the same amount of bullets. So one magazine right now probably equals about 30 staggered enemies.
Wait.
Here they're going to be trying to catapult me to death, but it's kind of in vain. They're not very smart at actually aiming the projectiles. And to further mention how how strong the TMP is, the suplex that I just did there is easily done, and it has a roughly 30% chance of just instantly killing the enemy. And it prevents Plagus head spawns, so it's doubly good. With that, you don't see them as often as you really expect. It even has a chance to insta-kill these guys, even though they're wearing a helmet. They just kind of die for no reason. So yeah, the suplex is very strong. Dang, he actually hit me. That is very rare. We can hear some Ganados actually running up towards us from below. They actually come in from the doorway that we came from, so I'm not sure how they got here. But regardless, it doesn't matter because they despawn automatically as soon as we fire this cannon.
Follow me.
Welcome. Got some rare things on. What are you buying? Then come back.
Something to note
anytime.
about the merchant is that whenever you upgrade the capacity, you actually get a full magazine. So we just got free bullets. What are you selling? Cocaine, baby. Ouch. May as well. There's actually a very big amount of enemies here. And using grenades is probably one of the better ways of taking them out. The TMP itself isn't that very strong in terms of damage. It's entirely just there for staggering the enemy. Alright, so putting the gold sword in the gold pedestal, I should say. Dang. Alright, let's try that again. Interestingly enough, as well, these enemies, the enemies downstairs actually spawn much faster when you're actually at 60 frames per second, as opposed to 30. There's actually a lot of strategies that just don't work at 30 frames per second. The village especially, the opening encounter there doesn't work, because the amount of enemies doesn't actually spawn. I have no words for that. That was something else. That is the first time I've ever seen enemies spawn in between dropping off an item or picking one up. Okay. So like last time, I'm just gonna try and control this to the best of my abilities, using grenades. If she doesn't have a healthy fear of those things, she deserved to die. These guys are the cultists from Blood that Traz hasn't stabbed with a pitchfork. Not yet. This is what happens if you let the cultists go free. They multiply and then end up causing an even bigger cult.
Wait.
And getting parasites in their head. Here I'm going to be trying my best to lure all these enemies out. So this barrel here, and then we're moving him through that. These shield guys are generally we're gonna be seeing a lot of them, and they're actually very, very aggressive. They will chase after you no matter what. And with the key, we can continue forward. Defund shield guy. It's kind of funny because normally they try and grab Ashley, but shield guys, they just straight up try to kill her. More often than not. In this room, we actually did meet Salazar, but we don't necessarily need to deal with him just yet.
Wait.
Grabbing the prison key and leaving Ashley here, we get our first taste of fighting a Garrador. Garradors are kind of difficult people to manage. No time to chat with goblins. Yeah, Salazar is something. He's actually kind of small. You'll see it when you see him. So Garradors are blind. They actually rely on sound to try and fight you. And we can actually abuse that. Running straight at him will sometimes cause him to do a charging motion, like that. And we can actually abuse that fact to get free hits on him. Another thing you can do to manipulate them is ring these bells, and they certainly don't like that. They instantly try and destroy it. Alright. With that... go this way. Since we left Ashley there, most of the enemies are going to be a little confused as to where to go. Ow.
Follow me.
Or not. Actually being grabbed there actually screwed things up pretty badly. Do I have to fight the Garrador again? Unfortunately, we cannot also skip the Garrador, as much as I want to. Lord Humongous, bashed together with Weapon X. He is a pretty tall boy. Alright, let's try this again. This time I'm actually gonna let Ashley be here, and we're just gonna take him out normally. If you position Ashley correct, and, the enemies just won't know what to do, and you can actually run past all of them. Regardless, they still try and blow you up, and it fails horrendously. Here is the toughest room in the game. For me, personally. Enemies will not stop spawning. And we actually have to do a lot in order to clear this place up. Yeah, water room is very notorious for speedrunning. One of the big reasons why is just Ashley. And killing more enemies will bring in more as well, and provide an unskippable cutscene. actually out of flashbang. Not flashbang, but EMP ammo. Ashley, please. Uh-oh. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to improvise a little bit here. Come on, Ashley. Stop being afraid. As you can see, it brought these guys in, and we're actually going to be sandwiched pretty badly here. Ah, unfortunate. Damn it, shield guy, again. I couldn't let them do the deed. And by that, I mean I missed. This part is definitely very difficult. There is at least one way that you can cheese it. Although doing the steps to get to the cheese is kind of hard.
Follow me.
Okay, we are going to need to give this to Ashley and this to ourselves. I can hear them behind us. We have the crank here. Ashley is going to crank that up on the floor. And our main goal is to try and prevent them from grabbing Ashley, which I am failing miserably. But the name of the game here is just control. After all this, Ashley will realize she's been using the wrong kind of mace to practice herself on. That is at least one good thing. Where Ashley gets a katana in a transformation sequence. Had to be red. Red Zealot. Ashley, please stop cowering on a guy that's already dead. Alright, so with the side guys, you just mainly have to draw them out and try and get them away from the staircase. If we're lucky enough, we can actually do the cheese now. I'm gonna use this right now.
Look, there's a crank over there.
Alright, so Ashley tells us that there's a crank up there, and it's very beneficial that we clear the area, and doing a checkpoint immediately clears everybody. They're just gone. So that actually gives us time to sit around and collect what we need to. They were given their mandatory break. Yeah, they heard the whistle and they went off to lunch.
Watch out for me.
So here's a very slow sequence of us protecting Ashley from very slow-moving cultists. Ooh, this ain't good. Okay. So far, so good. The evil monk union is caring, but very strict. Hey, the alerts are showing now? Oh, I have to stop and kill everybody around me. Alright, you got it. Oh, fuck. Who's that nerd? Anyone else? Hello? Big dono. So every alert is probably gonna pop now? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't like the sound of that. Are these all happening now, or did they happen beforehand? Because if I just rob someone of trying to do this room with less equipment, I apologize. Okay. I guess...
Welcome. Got some rare. What are you buying?
Here we're going to be doing more of the capacity upgrading
Thank you.
abuse and buying
Thank
yourself some
you. What are
bullets.
you buying?
And for safety's sake, I'm actually going to be buying myself a extra pistol. I'm actually going to buy the same pistol that I sold a while ago.
That come back anytime.
Can someone actually update me as to whether or not we had any specific amounts? Oh, and lastly, in this room, there is but a single hand grenade, right for the taking. It's their most prized possession, you know. They hid it in a glass case and a chest and everything.
You alright?
I'm fine. Leave me alone.
Ashley, wait!
So unfortunately, Ashley does show her uselessness again, and of all things to get her, the wall. The wall grabs her. And now we have to go find her. Nothing new? Specific? Okay, thank you, Reboot. Alright. This, next to the watering hole, is a very big run-ender. No way she could have avoided that. No, it's not like she could have just walked slightly forward. So, these are the most unpredictable enemies in the game. Novicidors will just do whatever they want. They will sometimes just, like, Super Saiyan teleport right onto you and just, like, start eating your face. So we're gonna try and do our best to get ourselves out of this room as quickly as possible. They do never come in this room most of the time. And this gives us time to actually collect our things. Oh, hello. And prep for what's going to happen next. In which case, we're going to be trying to avoid him, go this way, and not get wombo comboed. Yes, that is true. If you actually move your camera away, they are less likely to try and grab you. If you do it at, like, a perpendicular angle like this, but I kind of am very bad at moving with my camera looking away from me. So, I try and avoid that. I just kind of hope to God that RNG saves me. Like that. And that. But yeah, man, Novicidors are pretty annoying. They are very, very dangerous. There is one good thing in that, in which case, when they fly, they're actually very easy to kill. They actually have very, very reduced health. And I forgot the flash grenade. We're gonna have to... Alright, and with that, we can say goodbye to the Novicidors, because they don't follow us up here in this very specific room. Got some TMP ammo and a Spinel. Here is a ginormous treasure influx. Since we got that grenade, we can just have all these praying nerds die to this grenade. Oh shoot, some of them survived. Well, 2 of them got away, but the important ones are dead. Look at the pasta sauce. Yeah, they were just very excited for lunch. This was their lunch break. And unfortunately for them, I saw too good of an opportunity. They were all carrying their lunch money.
some red.
And
What
like
are you
before,
buying?
we can't actually get the capacity upgrade. Huh.
Come back, Eddie.
Alright, so here is a part where I have to actually really focus, because this one zealot who's carrying a key, if he escapes from me, I have to actually deal with a minigun turret, and nobody likes that. So I'm gonna have to actually be really accurate when I come across him. Curse this fire rate. Alright, so here he's gonna run out, and we need to shoot him as quick as possible in the head twice. Alright, so getting the gallery key opens up this door, and behind it is one of the toughest puzzles I've ever seen in a video game. Also, interestingly enough, they just stopped following me. They just don't care anymore. Alright, so, y'all ready for this? The answer to this puzzle is 1, 2, 3, 4, and okay. It's the same combination as my luggage. I'm surprised that anyone would be able to figure that out. We meet Salazar again, which I'm just gonna show him.
What a pleasant surprise.
He's very
But I'm afraid it's Ashley
small.
we need. Not you, Mr. Kennedy.
If you don't need me, then get off my back, old man.
Did
He
you
took a
see
lot of
the
fashion
man,
advice from
Mr.
Napoleon
Kennedy?
Bonaparte.
It might come as a surprise, but I'm only 20 years old.
So now we can make fun of him for it. Alright, for this room, we're just gonna be running. Trying to avoid as many Ganados as possible. Because some of them have rocket launchers. And they're surprisingly very accurate with it. Ah, they threaded the needle again. Very rarely they can actually shoot through that the little window to my left and actually get to me. Picking up that goat ornament actually lets us continue onwards. And we can just leave. Oops. Dove in front of that thing like a Secret Service agent. Okay, so it is time for the maze, and generally we're gonna be trying to avoid the dogs as much as possible. They're incredibly dangerous. Like, you know how I got wombo comboed back there and, like, got instantly killed? Yeah, the dogs can do that tenfold. They also have the most damaging, escape in the game. Like, you have to escape from them, otherwise they will maul your face off. Did you know no one dies without a cause? Those dogs also get tentacles on their back, and they can use that to whip you, and it's not fun. Thankfully, though, this is the last time we ever see of the dogs. They just never show up again. Here we say hello to Ada.
Put your hands where I can see them.
And she just kind of, like, messes around with us for a little bit. Says hi, flashbangs us, runs away. It's kind of rude now that I think about it. The dogs don't come back because their content isn't recycled. Amazing. Yeah, that is... Actually, yeah, that's the last time we ever see the dogs. They're just never there anymore. Alright, so the infamous trap. Everyone knows about this one. And the best way to handle it is to run in. Skipping the cutscene actually gives you more time to handle the situation. And your best bet is to run away. Staying in that room is sure death. So here I'm just gonna be constantly suplexing the enemy just to get rid of him. This room I do want cleared out for the most part. Pushing that switch activates the bridge. Here we grab a free rocket launcher, of all things, and try and get out of this room as fast as possible. Ooh! We get a free grenade. Here, unfortunately, we see the end of Lewis, who gets...
Leon, I got it.
well... I hate to mention it, but please pay attention to where this tentacle comes from. I don't like that.
Now that I have the sample,
I don't.
you serve me no purpose.
Sadler!
My boy Salazar will make sure you follow the same fate.
And by that I mean I'm leaving. Try not to think about it too hard. I can't help it. Oh no, I don't want to use that to free Ashley. Alright, so in the order that you need to kill is that guy on the left because he immediately runs towards Ashley after he's done pointing. this guy, and then the last guy who's just kind of unimportant. He's just very slow. Funnily enough, Ashley going to the door is dependent on how fast the enemy actually despawns after he's killed. I can't unhear that either now that you mention it,
The door's locked.
Sky
I can't
Pilgrim.
open it.
So the most important thing here is to get rid of the red guy first. Because they will endlessly spawn until you actually deal with the main guy. The president's daughter belongs to the Nords!
I can get out.
So now that she has the key, we're going to be playing as Ashley for a moment. And we're not going to be doing all too much. Ashley's section is incredibly short. So we run through here, but we walk through here. Because if you run, that Ganado over there actually notices you. And we need to do our best to actually crank this up on the floor before he can get to us. And you need to actually get it to about halfway, and you can slip in before he can. So here, we're just going to be clicking this button, and these buttons in this order. The far left, the middle, and the one behind this bookcase. And we're also going to grab this little puzzle piece. We're going to grab any free treasure along the way. And see, when I was a kid, I got stuck by this puzzle a lot. But it turns out the solution is just really simple, in which case you just shuffle the center and then move everything around it. And bam, there you go. Going in here gives us some more treasure, and the heir of, or actually, what was the family insignia, and a piece of the manticore we need to get to the other side of the castle. But doing so, uh-oh. It's kind of amazing that these armors have only a little bit of life in them before they just instantly combust. Air Angel! Thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. I am speedrunning Resident Evil 4, but you can sabotage my efforts through donations. $10 will make me stop and try and kill everything that's in the current area. And $20 lets you get rid of a weapon of your choice. If I cannot kill anybody with the, in the current room, then the next room I shall clear as much as possible. So out of the frying pan and into the fire, quite literally. Keonshi, you... Is that how you say it? You know how it is. So here we're gonna have to actually really focus on this little spinning platform, because that's our exit, and we don't actually want to to stick around here very often, because these little guard tower things are pretty dangerous. Good luck with the scary game. It's not that scary, but I thank you for the luck. We got lucky with our timing, and we were actually able to get this without getting stuck on the spinning platform. Alright. Now that we have that, we can just head on back to the area where we first saw Salazar. Or Salazar, sorry. Through a nice, relaxing tram ride. I like how the castle has a lava room. Dude, every castle has one. Shang Tsung's island has one. So here we're going to be putting together the Manticore and getting on through this wall. To another tram ride. To be honest, if I had a castle, I'd want my method of transportation to be just like this. Very odd cart riding. Alright, so here we're just going to be taking a little trip to the merchant and picking up some ammo.
Got some rare. What are you buying? Thank you. Thank you. Come back anytime.
Alright, and here we're gonna need to be very quick.
Wait.
First, these statues we saw from Ashley. And then these guys show up. Oh boy. I have made a terrible mistake. Unfortunately, I actually forgot to pick up a flashbang, so we are gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Or not. The more I think of it, the more I feel like Ramon Salazar is a Teen Titans villain that didn't cut the mustard. I can see that exactly. Much like the Plagas heads from before, these guys can also die to flashbangs once the Plagas is exposed.
Wait.
All right. Take two. I managed to actually bank shot that. Interesting. I did not know that was possible. Interestingly enough, these first three armor suits actually drop the same thing every time. And we do another round of this. And the only thing these guys drop is money.
Follow me.
Alright, so here we're just gonna be pushing these statues to open up the way. And we're gonna be telling Ashley to stay here for a moment. And with some foresight, this trap that ends up being sprung by Salazar just ends up being the most
I think you've lived long
dumbest
enough.
one.
Let's see if you can survive this time.
So the ceiling gains spike and it starts sinking down. Salazar leaves, and then it immediately stops. Because we broke it already. In addition, the Ganados also proved their inefficiencies by recapturing Ashley by attempting to murder her with a giant drill. Salazar's laugh as he leaves slowly turns into a scream when he realized he forgot to close the door behind him. I love how he dramatically throws his arm in the air to start the trap. Alright, so here, for safety's sake, I'm just gonna get rid of these guys. Ow. It's almost like a level of Bond villainy. He revels in the cheesiness of it. Oh. Lastly, we get our final egg. This is the last one in the game, sadly. So I will treasure this always. Final egg. So here we get another butterfly lamp, and we're actually going to get it paid off finally here. So we're going to use up all our rifle rounds. And some of our SMG rounds in order to get rid of it. This big old nest. Unfortunately, that actually still leaves the Novicidors still around. They're pretty angry at me for destroying their nest, so I'm just gonna run away to a spot where they can't actually get me. Here I'll be showcasing the fact that they can die pretty immediately when they're in the air flying. Packers, woo! Oh. Well, that's cool. All right. Good luck, have fun, kick Ashley's butt. I have. I've shot her a couple of times, I think. Just for you, Sam. Thank you, I'm so glad to hear. Alright, so... This is one of those cases where having a gun is completely necessary. Shooting down this bridge is like the only way you can get it down. The only way you can proceed, rather. So here we say hello to the merchant again.
Welcome. Got some What are you buying? What are you buying? Is it
And I get the final upgrade to the rifle.
Come back anytime.
We're gonna peep with our binoculars, see that Ashley's being dragged away. We're gonna have to follow her in this clock tower. Alright, inside the clock tower, we are perfectly fine, and we have our leisure time to shoot down these little wooden blocks that are stopping the clock tower from moving. I like how aiming this weapon is still from the hip and not down the iron sights. That actually does make this one of the fastest draws in the game, because Leon doesn't actually have to move as much to bring it up. So, now that we've moved the clock tower, we're actually going to get pretty bombarded. True, I don't think Leon actually uses the iron sights once in this game. Aside from the rifles. But they always have a scope, so he has to use that. Alright. And these guys that are coming around the corner, you just hit them with that. And I forgot about this guy, and you're gonna need to prep this and run away. Who needs iron sights when you have lasers? So you bait these guys, you bait these guys into swinging, and you run past the guy with the rocket launcher. And speaking of rocket launchers, we finally do get to use this. These two Gyarados, they're too much of a problem, so we're just gonna get rid of them now. This one last Gyarados just needs one tap once he's done with the rocket launcher, and the other one dies immediately. The end of the game should be Umbrella going bankrupt after having to pay for countless knee replacements. Oh, actually, wait. This guy needs to die. Don't forget about the neck injuries. There's plenty of that with Leon around. So, killing those 2 Gyarados also gives you a full refund on the rocket launcher that you stole from the castle. And now we have our next fight.
Ashley.
Ashley's the person we're gonna kill. I mean...
Leon!
Mr. Kennedy, don't you know when it's time to throw in the towel?
No! Leon!
Where's the satisfying sound of one's impalement?
Don't fall for this old trick.
How dare you! No more games! Kill him!
He throws a temper tantrum and throws his right hand at you. He is throwing hands now.
We shall prepare for the ritual!
Your right hand comes off. Quote Leon. Alright, and with this merchant, we get the most broken item in the game.
Got some rare.
And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. We are actually going to be getting rid of our semi-auto rifles.
Thank you.
And finally cashing in all our treasure.
Thank you. What are you?
And we're gonna buy the Striker. This gun seems pretty innocuous enough. It's a shotgun. It's pretty strong.
Thank you. Come back, Eddie.
But there's something about it.
Time.
So you notice how fast this draw is? It's actually sped up. And if you were to interrupt this draw time with, say, anything else, you can run absurdly fast. Like, Leon is just zooming. And it doesn't break unless you get, like, thrown into a cutscene or an action or you pull it out again. And we're going to be using this for the rest of the run. It's so fast that it even speeds up, like, climbing animations and you can even outrun the camera in a lot of situations. Here's a case of the cutscenes throwing us out of Ditman, which is the name of the glitch, by the way. It's very easy to get this off, by the way. This trick, I mean. And so you can just do that and run it as fast as you can. Certain cutscenes also don't, for some reason, kick you out of this. I don't know why. So here we're going to be dealing with the Verdugo, aka Pred Alien. Ooh, that's actually really bad. There is one thing I did forget, though, and I did this every time I practiced this. I forgot to grab another rocket launcher. So let's actually go back. As a reminder, you can still spend, just $20 to get rid of any item that any item minus grenades of your choosing.
Welcome.
And $10 to try and kill everything in the area. Or rather, force me to.
Come back, Eddie. Time.
The reason why I get a rocket launcher here is because it is genuinely faster to actually kill the the Verdugo, aka Predator, because you need to wait for an elevator to come down, and it automatically skips the time once he's dead. Alright, turn on the power. And activate the anti-lockdown. So here we see Verdugo in all his glory, but we won't see him for long. You lose, big guy. And like that, he's gone. And we don't have to wait. All right. Dang, you're this far? Yes. I accidentally forgot to actually tell the announcement early. I donated back during the big cheese fight, which I hope went through. I think it went through? I did see that there was a $10 donation at some point. I didn't know who it was by because I didn't catch it. So we're going to be saying hi to the villagers and probably ignoring all of them. Regardless, thank you, Suki. I appreciate it a lot. Oh, wait. I completely forgot to push the button. I was about to remind you about the rocket launcher, but you remembered. I remembered at the last minute. It did take me a life, though. So we turn the track power back on to get the dynamite down. But doing so spawns Dr. Salvador. And he's not happy that we ignored him. And for his efforts, we're actually going to ignore him again. All we need to do is remove this boulder. Completely ignore Dr. Salvador. And just going through here. Alright. And with this, we have the double El Gigante fight, which, spoiler alert, I know how to actually skip this fight entirely. So what you do is, with the Dipman glitch, certain animations make you go much faster than intended. To the point where you can actually go so fast that this little, thing you're supposed to grab doesn't get back in time. And doing that actually breaks it and puts you through the wall. And now that we're out of bounds, we can just walk all the way around to the end. Double not Dr. Salvador. Double El Gigante, already beaten. They called in sick. Alright, so here, I'm probably going to be using the shotgun for its actual intended purpose. shooting things. Because trying to get out of these caves with Novicidors around is very dangerous. Particularly for this reason. They can just jump on you at any time they want, and it's not very fun.
Bree, how you doing?
Oh, hello. I am
Hey,
doing
how's it
pretty
going?
well.
It is that time.
Aww. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I was not able to get
unfortunately.
through the castle.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, I mean, hey, I don't know. Well, now you're getting very dead.
It's the
Um,
Novicidors, man. It happens to everybody.
yeah. I've seen a lot of runs die with that. Very cool. I still haven't played RE4. I may have to give it a try again. But did you have a good time, man?
I had a great time, and I hope everyone here did as well.
I was definitely enjoying the out of bounds glitches for sure.
I'm pretty sad that we weren't able to do the minecart skip because it's really funny.
I'm definitely gonna be keeping an eye on more of these runs because this does look like it's a fun game
To speed
to
run.
watch. I don't think I'd ever be able to do it, but it's definitely fun to watch. But yeah, no, if you enjoyed yourself, that's awesome. We got somebody else who's going to be enjoying himself.
Oh.
Retrosexual is going to be coming up here now. What's up, man?
Hey.
Hey.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm great.
Hey, cool. What are you going to be doing for us tonight, man?
I'm going to be trying to kill as much Lovecraftian horror as I can in Quake for 2 hours.
So
Nice.
we're jumping from one pseudo Lovecraftian game to one much more Lovecraftian game, even though it's Lovecraft with other aliens and other things. But hey, I
Great.
mean, it's absolutely great. It's one of the best first-person shooters ever made. It is Quake. And
Mhm.
Sexy, you're gonna you've got a donation incentive for us, correct?
Yeah, so for $20, you guys can make me remap WASD to whatever direction you want it to go in, and I'll play inverted, which I haven't done since I was a teenager.
Ooh. That
All
is
right,
very
so
tempting.
$20 dono to screw up his game.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fun one, especially for an FPS.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what happens. Bree, do you have any parting words that you would like to say to the audience before we switch?
I hope you've all enjoyed. And stick around. There's actually a ton of really cool runs coming up ahead.
Yeah, yep. Some really cool stuff coming. Also, I would like to say applications are opened up. So if you guys want to join RBP for next month, we will be supporting Toys for Tots for the coming Christmas season. You guys can find that link in the panels below, or somebody will pop it into chat at some point. But that's all I've got. Bree, you know what you need to do.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Retro Rock Party begin.